on an all-new Dr. Phil. Sometimes love hurts.
I was pulling out his hair. He hit me in the eye.
And they have the scars to prove it.
You've broken her collarbone?
I didn't break her collarbone.
You were just standing there and her collarbone snapped.
He tells me I'm a horrible person.
Jen is a sociopath. She grabs my hair. Do they not have the right to,
Pull her hair back?
Yeah.
What are we, in kindergarten? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Thank you. All right, I have a question for you. Now think about this. Have you ever loved someone so much that it hurts? Yes. Well, my guests today say they have the scars to prove it. Josh says he loves his fiancée, Jen, deeply, but is ready to call it quits because he claims she scratches, slaps, and punches him, and has even pulled a steak knife on him twice. Now, Josh admits that he has also been physical with Jen, but claims it was in self-defense. Now, Jen says he has ripped out chunks of her hair, given her black eyes, broken her collarbone, and even slammed her head into the refrigerator. This doesn't sound like love to me. Take a look.
My relationship with Jen is toxic, dysfunctional, and abusive. She's constantly beating me up and attacking me. Jen is a sociopath. In the beginning, Jen and I's relationship was good. We were happy. We started arguing after the first 4 months.
You were already in heated arguments.
Yeah, but that's how it always is. It goes from an argument to her attacking.
The first time that he slapped me was whenever he told me I wasn't worthy of being the mother of his child. I slapped him first, and then he slapped me back and pulled me by the hair. Some hair came out when he was defending himself.
Another time, I ended up saying something that made her mad, and Jen comes flying in the room trying to attack me. She swung, trying to punch me. I deflected it and pushed her.
I went to slap him. He pushed me off of him, and I just fell on my arm. I broke my collarbone. My arm was in a sling for 3 months. Yet again, I was trying to attack him, and I tripped and I hit my head right here. I had 6 stitches in my forehead. Another time I got a black eye when I went after Josh. I was scratching and pulling out his hair, and I turned my face to try to attack him again, and it hit me in the eye.
The only time I get physical abusive is out of self-protection. Our house is destroyed because Jen has punched holes in the wall. She's busted the door off the hinges.
I love him so much. When somebody that I love that much hurts me, it affects my soul. I just fly off the handle.
I have permanent scars on my body from Jen. She likes to scratch and she makes me bleed. She leaves scars.
I was trying to restrain Jen from attacking me. She clawed my back.
I would definitely marry Josh tomorrow. I love him very, very much.
We don't have a date set to get married because Jen and I constantly argue.
I don't want to leave him, and I don't want him to leave me.
Okay, how long have you two been together?
2.5 years.
Are you in love with him?
Yes, of course I'm in love with him.
You say he doesn't even understand how much you love him.
He doesn't understand how much I love him. I really don't believe that he does. I think that he likes to accuse me of not caring about him because of the arguments that we get into. But that's completely not true. I wouldn't have asked to come on this show if I didn't want to be with him. That's how much I'm trying to prove to him that I want to make this work.
It's confusing to me. You say you love him, but yet you hit him, you kick him, you scratch him, you try to rip his face off.
I don't agree. I think, I take full responsibility.
You don't agree with what?
I don't agree that I should hit him. I do not agree with that.
So you agree with me, you just don't agree with what you do.
I don't agree with what I do. I agree with you, yes,
Okay.
of course. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses and saying that anything that I've done is correct, but neither is he. And
Okay,
I don't
wait,
think that he takes responsibility.
Stop. You just waved a red flag in front of me. You just said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but.
Right.
But means forget what I just said. Now I'm going to tell you what I really think. I'm not trying to make excuses, but now let me give you some excuses. Okay, so I just wanted you to know that's what I hear when you say that. So now give me your excuses.
I don't think that he takes full responsibility for the things that he does.
Okay, so what you're really saying is I hit him, beat him, scratch him, tried to rip his face off, come at him with a knife twice because he makes me do it.
No, he doesn't make me do it.
Well, that's what you just said.
No, that is me. That's my anger issues. And I have, you know, I need really serious help with that because whenever he says something, it hurts me so incredibly deeply that I react without even thinking.
Well,
and
he just shouldn't do that. So what's the deal here? You've broken her collarbone?
I didn't break her collarbone. I didn't break her collarbone.
You were just standing there and her collarbone snapped.
No, that's not the case. No.
Damn it, I hate it when that
She
happens.
came at
me too.
when somebody comes at you and tries to attack you, and you have to deflect punches, and you know, as they're swinging, you push them away, and they twirl to the ground.
You've been with her for 2.5 years?
Yes.
Are you known to be a slow learner?
No.
No, seriously. Were you known to be a slow learner?
Not as far as no.
Did you do okay in school?
Yeah.
You operate a motor vehicle?
Yeah.
Did you dress yourself this morning?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So 2.5 years you've been with her. How many fights have you had?
I've lost
How many
track.
times had she attacked you before you had to push her off of you and she broke her collarbone?
15, 10, I don't know. I mean, a lot. More than I could count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how many months had you been together before you were just standing there and her collarbone snapped?
Probably, I'd say a year.
So a year. And during that year, you had a lot of opportunities to learn that this was a volatile relationship.
Yes, it's a very toxic relationship, and it's dysfunctional. That's why I agreed to come on the show.
But you stay in it even though you can predict.
I love Jen. I mean, but I don't, I've almost left Jen, I don't know how many times. I've broken up with Jim. I've broken up with Jen. I've tried to get her away from me. I've left my own house because...
She says you've dragged her by her hair.
No, I did, she grabs my hair. Like I said, she initiates all the physical fight, anything physical she initiates.
So then that makes it okay for you to pull
So
somebody
if somebody's
by their
pulling
hair.
if somebody's pulling anybody's hair, do they not have the right to, not get their hair pulled? And I mean,
do you not have the right to pull her hair back?
Yeah.
What are we in kindergarten?
Exactly, and it doesn't make any sense. You're right. But I mean, it's still not right.
He pulled my hair. Well, I pulled his hair. Well, he pulled my hair. Well, I pulled his hair.
It's still not right. It's still not right.
Are you kidding me?
But the fact, what am I supposed to do? Now, you have somebody attacking you.
No, see, this is the problem here. You got people resort to physical violence when they run out of socially acceptable ways to express themselves.
Right.
And Jen can't. She doesn't know how to talk.
I'm going to point out to you a real flaw in your relationship pattern here. We're going to take a break. Joss gives us a tour of the damage Jen has done when she runs out of socially acceptable ways to express herself, including ripping a door off the hinges and punching holes in the walls. Now, this goes two ways, but I'm going to show them a serious flaw in the communication pattern when we come back.
I'm physically abusive in reaction to his verbal abuse. I can't control my rage.
Me and Jen were arguing in the bedroom. Jen decides to run into the kitchen and grab a knife. She held it in her hand and started acting like she was gonna stab me.
I know for a fact he's cheated on me.
No.
You didn't?
No.
So you weren't text messaging some other girl?
Is that cheating?
Yes, that is cheating. Telling her that you miss her, kissy face,
That's not cheating.
We have many holes and broken doors in our home.
This hole got here when we were arguing, and as I walked out of the door, Jen swung the door open so hard that it went in the wall.
We don't have a bedroom door right now because of Jen's rage.
This was my bedroom door. Jen decided to shoulder her way through the door and knocked it off of the hinges. She's also stabbed a knife in the door.
I repeatedly stabbed the door because I was angry. I can't believe that I reacted that way.
Jen admits she has anger problems and regularly hits, punches, and scratches her fiance, Josh. But Jen says, wait a minute now, Josh provokes her by accusing her of cheating, saying he hates her, and being verbally abusive. Now, Josh says Jen's abuse is so out of control that he just has to defend himself. Now, let's take a look at their cycle of violence.
Josh and I need to end this cycle of abuse. We argue every other day.
Jen is physically abusive and verbally abusive towards me. She'll call me a stupid dumbass. She'll call me evil.
I'm physically abusive in reaction to his verbal abuse. He has told me that he hates me. He's called me worthless. He says that even my own family hates me. That just makes me mad. He makes me feel like I'm not lovable. The way he talks to me is not okay. I do have an anger problem. I react without thinking. I turn into a feral cat almost. I can't control my rage. He's slapped me before to keep me off of him. He's pushed me down. That's usually what happens. I'm the instigator.
Jen has gripped my nose and my mouth, dug her fingernails into my face, tried to pull off my lips. When she grabbed my nose and lips, I grabbed Jen's hand and I pushed her away. She fell to the ground, gets back up, and starts to attack me again. Another time, me and Jen were arguing in the bedroom. Jen decides to run into the kitchen and grab a knife. She held it in her hand and started acting like she was gonna stab me.
We were in an argument. I grabbed a knife and I didn't even swing it at him. I was just holding it in my hand. I was just trying to scare him so that, he would shut up and leave me alone.
I've had to call the cops.
I've called the cops
have
on
been
him
here-
too.
The cops have been here so many times, they know our house. I was so fed up with the arguing and the fighting, I went and filed an emergency protective order against Jen. But I never went back to court, so the protective order expired. Jen would beg me, don't go through with it. I listened because I do love Jen, but still nothing has changed.
Okay, before I talk about what I was going to talk about, you just each watched this description of your lives on 25-foot screens.
Yeah.
How's that look to you?
Unhealthy.
Sad. I mean, it looks like, it looks like it's not going to work. And the thing is I want to keep my family together. I think our issues can be worked out. We just need to learn how to communicate with one another in a more productive way than just calling each other names and, accusing each other of cheating, even though I know for a fact he's cheated on me.
No.
Okay.
No.
You didn't?
No.
So you weren't text messaging some other girl?
Is that cheating?
Yes, that is cheating. Calling and text messaging some other girl and telling her that you miss her, kissy face.
That's not cheating.
Well, that's 5 minutes of my life I can't get back. But I couldn't have typed up a script of a better example of what I'm talking about. You each have a monologue you go through. You're not talking to him, you're just venting. You're not talking to her, you're just venting. You don't listen to her. You're not empathetic with her. You're not empathetic with him. You're just interested in venting.
That's what I always ask him, though, is will
Don't
he
interrupt me. That's not communicating. See, I understand the rhythm of communication. And you said to me, what am I supposed to do? Because no. That's when I stopped you before. You see, in healthy adult communication, When you ask a question, you pause and give the other person an opportunity to answer the question.
Yes.
If somebody's pulling my hair, what am I supposed to do? Am I not entitled to pull their hair?
Or get them off me? Like, am I?
Yeah. And that's when I ask if you were a slow learner, because you've had many opportunities to learn that you can predict someone's behavior. She said something in her tape piece, and she said, I get mad and I cannot control it. Yeah. Now that just seems like a sentence in the middle of a paragraph, but I think words are very powerful. So I listen to what people say, and I spend 50% of my time hearing what they don't say. But she said, I get mad and I cannot control it. So she is telling you, she's telling you, I attack you, I get mad, I attack you, and I cannot control it. She's telling you that. The attacker's telling you, I can't stop doing this. And she's justifying that she does. Now, what do you predict?
Man, I want to leave Jen. I've almost, like I've told you, I've tried to break up with Jen, but she won't let it go. What do I do?
Well, you got 4 children with 4 different women.
One of them he was
want me to
never even
say?
with. It was a one-night stand that he cheated on one of his other baby's mothers
wow.
with, and they're 6 days apart in age.
I'm not traditional.
And later,
I don't want to bring my kids into this.
you shouldn't bring your kids up unless you're concerned for their well-being.
I am concerned for their well-being.
And if you're concerned for their well-being, then you need to put all the cards on the table in front of me, because if you're doing this in front of your children, that's abuse.
I have 4.
And how many mothers?
4.
So there are 4 failed relationships,
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
counting this one. If you put this in the success column, we're in a world of If this is your big winner,
Yeah, I have 4 children, and yeah,
and 4 mothers.
yes.
One of them he
You
was
want me to
never
say?
even with. It was a one-night stand that he cheated on one of his other baby's mothers with, and they're 6 days apart in age.
I'll get to you in just a second. I mean, come on, let's get real here. You don't have a great track record in relationships.
No, I guess. I mean,
Well, you got 4 children with 4 different women.
yeah.
Is that ideal?
I'm not traditional. I don't do things like everybody else. Like, no, it's not ideal, but it happened, and I have 4 children. Like,
Yeah.
something I got to deal with. So,
Right, and there are 4 relationships that have not worked out long term. And the common denominator seems to be you.
I guess so.
So you have to say there's some ownership
Definitely, I could say
that you
yeah.
have.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's a text exchange between Jen and Josh. This was just a month ago. Jen, I love you and I don't want to fight like this. I want you to have faith in me and I'll make sure you don't regret it. Even if you don't believe me, I do love you and I'll work harder to make you happy. Please don't respond because I know you're angry. I'll show you and prove to you that I'll do anything for my family. You guys are my world. Then she sends another one without any response. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to annoy you or piss you off. Then you do respond. You're a deal breaker and energy killer pessimist. I don't want or need your opinions on anything in life. You respond again. So before you speak next time, just stop and realize Josh does not consider your opinions on anything. You're referring to yourself in the third person there? That's you talking about you?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you say, okay, Josh, you be as petty as you want, LOL, and I'm the pessimist, LMAO, you don't even realize you are the most negative person that ever existed, huh? You're the true pessimist, LOL. That didn't last very long. Both of you said that you just truly love each other. Both of you said that. So again, I think words are very powerful. So I wrote these down. True love. This is how Josh describes Jen. Okay? And again, words are very powerful here. So here's how Josh describes his true love. Worthless slut, dumbass bitch, horrible mother, horrible person, stupid mother blank, blackout drunk, sociopath, psychotic, crazy, violent, aggressive, jealous, insecure, mooch, lazy bum, and nothing. How do you describe the people you don't like?
That's what I say whenever, like, we are arguing.
Then Jen says this is how she describes her true love. He's a stupid, cheater, dumbass, piece of shit, evil, hateful, manipulative, rude, mean, physically abusive, emotionally abusive.
Wow.
Who did you turn down?
Jen is a sociopath.
He tells me I'm a horrible person.
I got to tell you, I don't hold myself
You're the
out.
doctor. I mean,
Thank you.
you know.
And listen, I don't hold myself out to be some paragon of marital bliss, but I'll tell you, I've been married for 41 years, and I have never said, I have never said one of those adjectives to my wife in 41 years. I've been with her 45. I have never said one of those adjectives to my wife in 45 years. Not one. Nor have I heard her say them to me in 45 years.
I don't think
because she
anybody
is my true love.
All right.
Next, Josh claims Jen brought a homeless man into their home while he was working and can only assume that she cheated on him with this man in their home. And I'm curious if children were around. We'll talk about that after the break, and I'm going to start asking these people just exactly what they plan to do. You said she's tried to rip your face off, and you're back in the car running over her foot, and she says, he doesn't understand how much I love him.
That's Jen.
Closed captioning provided by
Josh has made me delete the male friends off my Facebook account. That was in reaction to me going through his phone and deleting all of the girls off of his Facebook.
Jen just gets angry at any other girls that I may have on my Facebook. Jen is always accusing me of cheating on her, but sometimes I think Jen is actually cheating on me. I found flirty messages on Facebook where Jen has planned dates.
I think he has a guilty conscience. He does try to flip it on me, and that's not even close to the truth.
Jen says she knows Josh is a cheater because they got together when he was still with his ex-girlfriend. Josh is adamant he has never been physical with another woman since Jen, but she says she has discovered evidence that Josh is cheating on her right now. Take a look.
Jen is extremely jealous and always accusing me of cheating on her.
Josh does play Mr. Innocent whenever I confront him about cheating. He says things like, I'm allowed to have female friends. I believe Josh has cheated on me, and that is why we fight so much, because whenever I've gone through his phone, I've seen him messaging other girls, talking about he misses them. I went through his phone 2 weeks ago and found the messages. Josh did tell her, hi, beautiful, that he missed her. He sends her kissy face emojis and hearts. I'm like, okay, that's not just a friend. You're flirting. And she said to him, oh, are you just gonna disappear again? What does that mean?
I've emotionally cheated with ex-girlfriends, but we didn't do anything physical. We just hung out and talked. One time I was mad at Jen and I ended up going to my ex's house. She eventually made her way to my ex-girlfriend's house and started banging on the door, screaming at the top of her lungs.
Of course, I, thought that he was cheating on me. Who wouldn't? Why are you at your ex-girlfriend's house at 3 o'clock in the morning? I started yelling at him and he tried to get in the car and leave.
Jen was standing behind the car. I backed up my car and accidentally ran over her toe.
On the inside, I just feel like my heart is kind of like broken. He doesn't understand how much I love him.
You know what I'm worried about for you?
Oh, what's that?
Well, first off, after all of this, you said she's tried to rip your face off. And you're over there banging on the door, you're back in the car running over her foot. And she says, he doesn't understand how much I love him. That just sends chills down that's bunny in the pot kind of talk.
That's Jen.
I think you're in danger 2 ways. You say she drinks and sometimes blacks out.
Yeah.
And you both tried to change your story later, but initially you admitted that you both do this in front of the children.
No, my daughter's never been there.
Here is Jen's email to the show dated 2/13/18. My fiance and I have a 19-month-old daughter together. There have been multiple times where we have screamed, fought, hit each other in front of not only our daughter, but his daughters from separate moms, and my own daughter separate from him. Are you lying then or lying now?
I just don't want to bring my kids into this.
I don't.
What?
I don't want to bring my kids into this.
You shouldn't bring your kids up unless you're concerned for their well-being.
I am concerned for their well-being.
And if you're concerned for their well-being, then you need to put all the cards on the table in front of me, because if you're doing this in front of your children, that's abuse. And the reason you tried to reverse your field and then lie to me about it now is because you apparently know that that's abuse.
I just wanted to focus on us, like our issues.
Are you that selfish
No.
that you don't care what happens to your children?
I do.
So, but you want to hide from me that you are abusing your child by creating this turmoil in front of your children.
I apologize.
I said I'm concerned for you for 2 reasons. One is getting hurt. The other is you're going to wind up going to jail. And I'm telling you that because I want that to not happen.
I don't want it to happen either.
So you said, what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to get yourself out of the situation. You can predict it's going to happen. She has told us straight up, I attack him viciously and violently. And I think that you have been in a defensive mode, and you're going to wind up going to jail. You need to protect yourself. You have children to take care of. You don't belong in jail, and that's where you're going to wind up. And that's not fair to you. And that's not what you want. But that's what this is deteriorating into. Josh says Jen's behavior is so out of control that on one occasion the police and the fire department broke down their door and entered their home with guns drawn. Now we'll talk about that after the break. Closed captioning provided by
Jen drove my car into another house.
I didn't mean to wreck Josh's car. I was smoking a cigarette, and the cigarette fell onto my pants. So I looked down to try to get it off my pants, and then I was in the neighbor's yard. The car was totaled, but I was able to drive back to our house. Then the police showed up.
The police actually had to break down the door with the help of the fire department. They came in pointing guns at us, and Jen was arrested. She was in jail for about 2 weeks. I bailed her out of jail.
Josh still holds a grudge against me for this accident.
Jen didn't care that she wrecked my car. She doesn't have any remorse.
Josh, it says Jen is a lazy mooch who steals money out of his wallet and refuses to get a job. Jen says Josh does not understand that taking care of their home and daughter is her full-time job. Take a look.
Jen is a mooch. Jen is a lazy bum. She lives off my money.
I'm not a mooch, I'm a stay-at-home mom. He doesn't understand how much work that is. Taking care of a child is difficult.
Jen always has an excuse. She doesn't need to work because she's a stay-at-home mom and she's taking care of our daughter.
I'm not lazy. I take care of the entire house. I do all the laundry, all the dishes.
She literally watches talk shows and Netflix all day. Jen is also a thief. She's stolen my debit card and cash out of my wallet. I've spent about $10,000 on her in the past year and a half. Her wrecking my car, her stealing my money. It gets irritating that I have to support Jen. She is financially abusive to me and she does think she's entitled to my money.
You guys have to understand something. You made a statement that out of everything that all of y'all have said, this was the most outrageous statement that I've heard. Both of you combined, this one statement was the most outrageous statement that I've heard. You said, and I quote, "I would marry him tomorrow." Okay, tell me why you feel such a compulsion to be in a relationship.
I've had a difficult past with insecurity and not feeling like anybody loves me, which, you know, is another reason why when he says that it gets to me so bad, like it literally like stings. My father left me whenever I was 3. And I remember him leaving. And so it's like, if your own parent can just up and leave you, then are you even lovable?
What I fear I create. So what you're trying to do is run him off, and then when he doesn't, for just a minute you go, okay, I mean, I've actually beat the hell out of him and he didn't leave. So okay, I can breathe easy for a minute. He passed the test, he stayed. Josh's sister says she is afraid for her brother's life. We'll meet her after the break.
I am worried about my brother's safety. She's a different type of crazy. When Jen has been drinking or if she's drunk, there will be a fight with Josh. Jen provokes Josh. It's to the point where I don't even like to be around her.
Josh's sister is here. She claims that Jen is a raging alcoholic who is extremely jealous, and she thinks the anger is going to escalate to a dangerous point. Take a look at this, then we'll talk to her.
I am worried about my brother's safety, and I tell my brother, hey, you need to be careful because she's a different type of crazy. Jen will black out. She just goes to a whole different level. Alcohol is a huge factor. So there's no stopping Jen once she starts drinking. If there's alcohol there, it's going to be finished off. When Jen has been drinking or if she's drunk, there will be a fight with Josh. I've never witnessed my brother being physically abusive. So I've known my brother his whole life. He's just not that type of person to hit on a girl, or if anything, he's just trying to get away. Jen provokes Josh. It's to the point where I don't even like to be around it. Like, I only want to be around just my brother or just Jen, because whenever it's all of us, I'm like sitting there hoping she doesn't say anything to upset him. I think Jen and Josh are constantly fighting because there's no trust. If Dr. Phil cannot help Jen and Josh, I believe they should break up.
Hi, Nadia.
Hello.
Thanks for being here. You've been listening so far, right?
Yes.
So what do you have to add to help me solve this puzzle here?
It breaks my heart. It's hard for me to talk right now, I'm sorry. I'm worried for the safety of my brother as well. And as for my niece, because knowing that they see this stuff, but I love my brother and I really just want what's best for him. And as far as alcohol, I think it needs to be taken out of the equation all the way.
You think alcohol is a huge factor to the volatility of this relationship, right?
I'm being honest, yes.
What do you want to see happen here?
I mean, at this point, any help, any counseling, anything that they can do, or just for him to leave. I can't be around it. I can't even, last time I went there, I had so much stress and anxiety that I actually had a panic attack because I'm afraid that the things that they do in front of people is just, it's outrageous the way she goes towards my brother, And like I said, I can be with them separately, but together I just can't. And I don't know. I just really...
Well, if this has such a powerful impact on you as an obviously intelligent, articulate adult, you can imagine the impact it has on a child. Because children have the unique ability to figure out how everything is their fault. And if it's having this profound of an impact on you, creating this kind of stress on you, can you just imagine what effect it's having on the children?
I can't imagine.
That's the tragedy here. We're going to have to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to give my plan for how Jen and Josh could and should move forward individually, and if they do, as a couple. Closed captioning provided by... My wife, Robin, has made this a real mission in her life. And in fact, she is, if I can brag on her, is I think one of the foremost and most clarion voices in America in the fight against domestic violence. She has started a foundation called When Georgia Smiled, which is dedicated to her mother, and their mission is helping women and children live happy, safe, and joy-filled lives.